If you day trade and don't use this entry model, then I don't know what you're doing, because this setup has the highest win rate out of any strategy I've ever used while day trading. The first thing I'm going to get into with this trade is that we had news at 8:30. So you can see here, we play the next candle and we get the news candle. We have a data high and we have a data low as well. So I'm going to mark those out. And if you watch my videos, you know that these are some of my favorite liquidity pools, if not my number one favorite. These are a really good liquidity pool, and they hit probably 95% of the time. And you can see here, I go on to the 30-second. You can see we get this big move up. We take out this data high, right? Take out the data high. Now, the only one we have left is the data low. So before we take out this data high, I don't know which one it wants to take out first. So I wait for it to take one out. You can see here we take out the data high first. So now we go on to this next candle and we get a 30-second fair value gap here. If I go on the 1 minute, we don't really get a good fair value gap. We get this really small one here. So I prefer to take cleaner and bigger fair value gaps, ones that are more obvious. So right here, we have this good sized fair value gap. And we can look for a short position on this 30-second here. So what I would do is I'm going to put my stop loss a close above this inverse if we get it, right? Because what I want to do is I want to basically get ready for if this inverse is, right? I need to be ready for it. I can't look at it after. I need to look at it before and be ready for it. So here, I'm going to wait and see if we get the inverse. You can see here, right here, we inverse right there. So now, depending on how many contracts you want to use and how much you want to risk, you can risk however much you want, but I'll just do one contract just to make it simpler. And what I'll do is I'll target this data low for my take profit, and my stop loss is going to be a close above. Some people might do it at the wick or at the high. Like as a hard stop loss. I don't use a hard stop loss. I like estimate above, so I might do it 90 ticks right there. So it's like if it closes anywhere above this fair value gap, this inverse fair value gap here, then I'll close my position manually. So my take profit is right here at the data low. And you can see I'm just going to watch this play out. Now that we're at about that we hit like one risk reward, I'll put my stop loss to break even. Right here, I put it a little bit above break even just for commission and fees. And let's see, boom, right there. We hit this data low. Now, this is probably like the best entry model that I've ever seen. It is one of the highest win rates that I've ever seen. Whenever you get the data high and the data low and it sweeps one. And this right here is like a perfect execution of it, because you can see we get a good sized fair value gap as we sweep the data high, and immediately after we get good momentum through this fair value gap, creating an inverse fair value gap, which then we can use to target this data low here. Now I feel like this is the highest win rate setup out of any model, like even for the inverse fair value gap setup, which is a really high win rate. But this, I don't really think I've ever seen this fail, especially when we have data high, data low, we take it out, just that quick V-shaped recovery and get that inverse. I don't think I've ever seen this fail. So if you trade inverse fair value gaps and don't use data wicks as a liquidity pool, then I really recommend you do. And if you don't use this specific version of the entry, when we sweep a data high or data low and then get that instant V-shaped recovery towards the opposite, then I don't know what you're doing. I think you definitely have to think about adding this. And if you don't trade inverse fair value gaps, I recommend you learn inverse fair value gaps and use this strategy. And the inverse fair value gap, like I said, highest win rate that I've seen, and this specific type of setup, I've never seen it fail. So if you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, as I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers soon. Also leave a like if you guys enjoyed this video, and leave a comment if you have any questions Also, join my Discord community. We're trying to build the best day trading Discord community, and I'll see you guys later.